Hey Taurus, how are you? My name is Danielle. Welcome to Moonlight Intuition. This is going to be a general reading for you. And if there are messages that resonate with you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, all the info for that is going to be in the description box below. And now, we just had that crazy solar eclipse in like the new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Like, it was wild, right? I don't know how many of you witnessed it or were just outside. I just didn't get my hands on the glasses. I mean, I don't know why, but I was outside for it, and there was something about like the nighttime in the middle of the day, and then there was still like a full kind of day ahead. Like I had to, I had a whole, I had all these plans like after the eclipse was over. It was very bizarre. And I don't know about you, but today for me just feels, I'm doing this on the day after the eclipse, basically. I don't even know what day of the week we are. We're Tuesday. And things feel very like blank slate, not in a bad way. So maybe some of you are feeling this. Now, the cards I pulled for you, or that were pulled for you. We have the Magician reversed. We have the Emperor. And we have the Seven of Cups. Now, you have two major arcana in this reading. The major arcana always mark kind of bigger turning points in life. It is interesting here that we have the Emperor because this is Aries energy and we are currently in Aries season. So why does this feel like very relevant to like right now? So the Magician being reversed, I think overall, like I'm just kind of looking at the cards. I feel like overall, it's just kind of like maybe the newness that you're feeling after this eclipse is kind of like, ooh, the kind of like that we're all feeling in our own way. Perhaps for you, Taurus, it might be kind of like, oh, like everything I've ever feared kind of came true. It's like all my fears became like a self-fulfilling prophecy, perhaps. Maybe I steer the ship, or maybe you're kind of starting to see how maybe it's even like not that far yet, that maybe you're just kind of starting to see that it's like, having to turn inward more, that there's just something that with the weirdness of the newness of right now also to the newness is like we're in Aries season, which is the first zodiac sign of the year. We had the first new moon of the energetic year. We just had a solar eclipse. It's like the new, like it's almost like we can't deny it. So for you, I think there might be the kind of discombobulating new might be just kind of like, whoa, that it's like how maybe, and I say this was with love, it's not a judgment, but for lack of a better term, maybe how you've projected deep wounds or insecurities or hurt or like any feeling of lack that was within you, how you kind of like either projected it out there or like attributed it to something out there that you didn't have or something like that, right? Now, and this reading is telling you that where you're at right now is kind of like a return to your true power, which is the Emperor. Now, the Magician being reversed is kind of like whether you're aware of this or not, and I feel like some of you maybe are starting to be like, ooh, is that you are always manifesting all the time. And if you're not conscientious of your thoughts, and if you're not kind of doing shadow work, like not paying attention where your subconscious is kind of like driving your thoughts and your behaviors and your patterns, it's like you're always manifesting things that you wouldn't necessarily want. Excuse me. And not to like scare you, like not in a horrible way, but just like, oh, I always like find relationships like this is like the subconscious thought, and then you do, right? And also that's a perception too. It's like, but there's something about the Magician being reversed next to the Emperor. There's something about kind of shifting your perspective to being like, okay, how your inner world, how it has given your power away because you haven't really been paying attention, because you've maybe been busy looking out there and maybe kind of not blaming, but for lack of a better term, maybe kind of being like, well, yeah, if this person was this way, I would be happier. Or if this person was mine, I would be happier. If I had this kind of money, or if I had this person's job, or if I lived here, or if I got to go on this trip, right? And that's kind of like, when we get in these patterns, it's kind of like you're manifesting almost like for you, Taurus, it's like, I think when you get in these places of like looking out there and being like, if I had this, you're almost just manifesting more of the same. And it's kind of like part of your shadow, because it's like Taurus, like you're stubborn. That's part of your shadow. It's like, and no hate, like every sign has their thing, but you're the bull, stubborn bull. It's almost like you're like, you want more, but you kind of, this like lack in you that you're kind of projecting out there with wanting more just keeps you then in the same place. You know what I mean? It's almost like your stubbornness is your like driving force of this like lack of being like, I want this, I want that, if only this person was mine, if only this job was mine, if only I could travel, if only I could this. And then it's like doing all that, you're not actually, because it's like you're in like an almost like angry state, like that bull, like seeing red. It's then you're just gonna kind of manifest stagnancy. Does that make sense? And then you're almost like satisfied. It's like, you know, see, everything's just the same. So Taurus, there is something here about actually like paying attention to what you're thinking and what results have those thoughts yielded for you, if any, right? Probably made you feel not good and probably just give you more of the same. Probably nothing has really changed, right? And so it's kind of like to become aware. And I think it's like this Emperor card is good because it's like actually, you know, really actually being conscientious with what would actually make you feel good and happy, right? And it's kind of like, I think you're going to go on quite the inner journey upcoming, which is good, which is maybe different for you. Because I think Taurus, a lot of you are craving a change. And I say this with love. I think this goes for almost most people, regardless of astrology. I think it's like, I think you're craving something beyond your usual bullshit. Like, you know, and trust me, I crave more, something beyond my own bullshit. It's like not just pointed at you. But there's something about that you want to actually step in your power and actually be like, okay, I wake up every day. I'm going to wake up with the mindset of a toddler. There's no, a toddler doesn't wake up being like, oh, yesterday this, or even like an hour ago, this person did this to me. It's like, even I babysit I do so many different jobs, but I babysit for some families that I truly enjoy here in the city sometimes. And, you know, paying attention to children. It's like the siblings could be having this huge fight and you never think it's going to end. You're like, oh my goodness. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, I don't care, like, let's go play on the swings. And it's like, it's not mentioned again, right? The fight is like not. So I feel like there's something that it's like maybe the stubbornness in Taurus, like your fixed nature. It's like, try to wake up like a toddler. Stop waking up being like, what was that thought that was pissing me off? Aha, I'm gonna wake up like that. It's like, you're just giving away your power, right? So I think it's like, you're gonna step into a place, and you are, I think you've been on this journey for a bit, and especially like Pluto transiting into Aquarius Aquarius is a fellow fixed sign, much like you. And I think it's like you are feeling this shift of like how you've been like, I mean, look at this card. This is this person looking out there at all these things as if any of them are A, even real, and B, would even make them happy. Also, this is big Scorpio energy. If that resonates with anybody, if someone was like, oh, like all gummed up about a Scorpio, or maybe a water sign in general, a Pisces or a Cancer or a Scorpio, but this is specifically Scorpio energy, which is also a fixed sign like you. It's like this card is all about like illusions, and how really it's like everything out there that we think, if you're like, yeah, whenever you're like, if I had this thing that is beyond me, then I would be happy. It's an illusion. Okay, and this is what this card is all about. But the good thing about this card, it's a 7. You're on the way to the 10, which is like, you're basically on the path to manifesting what is truly meant for you and what would truly make you happy. And it's gonna come from this inner journey and this change. Because really the Magician, it's like, it comes right after the Fool. It's like the Fool is 0, the Magician is 1, and the Magician is like, yeah, like I can manifest anything, like creativity. Like, think of creativity. It's like you think of an idea and then you either write it, sing it, paint it. It's like, that's literally like manifesting. I mean, and just know too, Taurus, manifestations, like they take time. They take time. Even me, I just moved, by the way. This is my new apartment. It's empty and I don't even give a fuck. I'm like, great, I have a home. It took me 2 years to find an apartment. But how I like, and it happened fast. But how I like to say, it had been manifesting for a couple of years, if not more. but it materialized seemingly overnight. Like within like 2 weeks, it was like, oh, I got this lead, I met the landlord, signed the lease, and I'm here. But it's like, so just know, Taurus, it's like, even if you don't have something like physically right in front of you, it is coalescing, it's being manifested. It has to be manifested internally for a while. And you're probably, no, well, you're already manifesting things right now that you're not even like maybe even aware of, which is the beauty. Like even if some of you want to leave situations that you're no longer happy in or blah, 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 it's like if you're thinking about that, you're already manifesting that change, right? That's why like, and I'm not saying like, whatever, this is an example of a breakup, so it'll resonate with some people, but some not. But it's like, that's why like when a breakup happens, usually one person is like, ah, but the other person has already almost like processed it, right? For like months, if not years, if not whatever, because they're like, and then one day the clarity comes and the courage comes and the one person is like, yeah. Then the other person is like, oh, right? So it's like whatever it is that you're, that's meant for you, whatever's like on your mind all the time is what you're manifesting. So basically the more you kind of tap in to yourself, the more you'll be able to consciously manifest what is meant for you. So me with this apartment, I switched from being desperate to waking up each day and just being like, how amazing having a home that I could afford will make me feel. I just picture myself making meals for myself and people in my life. I picture myself waking up in my bed and just like not having to worry about where I'm gonna go tomorrow. I just picture myself creating and just like hanging my clothes in my closet. It's like, just start picturing the things that really matter to you and will make you feel good, and trust, it'll just come. It's like you're basically painting in your imagination, and whatever you're picturing will just come, and it takes time. The universe needs time to arrange it, but it needs your help as well to know what is meant for you. I love you, Taurus. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you next week. Happy post-eclipse era. Here we fucking go. Okay, bye.